AI. Everyone seems worried or excited about generative AI, and I think today we're at a turning point with AI in the film industry. It seems like every day there's a new AI generated model like VO3 or Midjourney, and now Pandora's box is open and there's no going back. Is it helping artists be more creative, or is it destroying creativity? Things are changing fast, and I have a couple thoughts. So today I'll help answer the questions of how should you use AI in filmmaking and visual effects. Coming from the perspective of myself, a visual effects artist and supervisor, and for the last 9 years I've been working on Hollywood movies like Star Wars: Rise of Skywalker and Across the Spider-Verse. And now I write and direct my own animated films. So for this video, when I refer to generative AI, I'm specifically talking about typing in a prompt and getting back an image or a video. Now I hear it all the time, AI is a tool, and absolutely, but here's the thing, a hammer is a tool, and you could use that hammer to build a hospital, or you could use it to bash someone's head in. So let's get this straight. There is an ethical and moral way to use a tool, and there are unethical and immoral ways to use that same exact tool. Now, I'm not making this video to talk about the ethics of AI stealing artwork from artists and training on it without any permission, because it's been demonstrated over and over again that this is exactly what's happening. I don't think that's worth going into, but I hear this all the time. Just give it 5 more years or 10 more years. Just imagine what it'll be. And to be honest, I don't think we have to wait that long. If you've used Midjourney, and I've totally used Midjourney in the past to see what it's all about, as far as I'm concerned, Midjourney has already solved AI generating images. Midjourney can make any image and the pixels will look just like the real thing, pixel for pixel. It can imitate illustrations or real people, and 99% of folks won't be able to tell the difference. This is sort of like deepfakes, which is one of the classic uses of AI in visual effects. And deepfakes have been used to bring back actors from the dead, like Ian Holmes. And seeing this trend on screen, I think we have to stop and ask the question, wait, should we really be doing this? Now, using AI for deepfakes is an obvious example, but recently I've been noticing more and more AI creeping into my life in ways I never wanted it to. The first time this happened was with AI music. Now, I couldn't believe this. I usually work to lo-fi beats, music compilations right on YouTube, but now I've noticed almost every single one of them is completely AI generated. And I was shocked when I found this out, because none of these channels are reporting this or making it known. You have to intuit this for yourself. So right now in 2025 and beyond, you as an audience member have a choice. Do you want to listen to and support AI generated music, or do you want to listen and support real human artists? The choice is on you, the audience member. And let me give you another example to hit this home. Something we haven't seen yet is AI sports. But the reality is right now, AI can perfectly replicate a football game or a soccer game, and the pixels would look just like the real thing. So let me ask you a question. Is an AI generated football game better or worse than the real thing? Are you gonna spend your own time and money to watch AI generated sports? I think the answer is obvious, but it begs the question, why would a human sports game be better than an AI generated one? Why does everyone seem to care about their hometown sports team, whether it's pro football, college basketball, high school soccer? Well, in my opinion, I think it's because deep down everyone's thinking, one day I could do that too. If I just became the best athlete, one day I could play for the Patriots. Or if I became the best coach, then my players could go on and play for the Bucks. In sports, everyone's competing to be the best and achieve mastery at the highest level. It's not about winning a trophy for the championship at the end, it's about being the best. And any one of us could be on those winning teams. And honestly, that's how I feel about art. To me, my art is cinema. It's moving pictures and sound with visual effects. So why do I want to make art? Why did I get started working on films and visual effects in the first place? Well, I can still remember when I was growing up, I would watch movies like Star Wars and Terminator 2 and The Matrix with my dad, and I can still remember that thrill ride that can only happen with cinema. But the best part wasn't just watching the movies, it was watching the behind the scenes and seeing the artists making these sci-fi planets like Geonosis or Mustafar and doing it themselves with their own 2 hands. And by watching those, I realized, wow, I can be on these teams and I could do this too. I could learn the craft, and if I continue to improve, one day I can make my own Matrix or Terminator 2. So I have to learn the skills and I have to become a better artist. That's what it was for me. Now, if your goal is to become a better artist, let me explain why I think generative AI is only going to hurt you. Now, for the sake of argument, let's say that art is when an idea meets execution. And I'm sure you've heard someone say, ideas are a dime a dozen, it's the execution that actually makes the difference. And I agree. But this is where it gets twisted with generative AI. Now, if you're writing a prompt to generate images or videos, you are no longer executing this piece of art. The computer is fully executing all of the artwork. It is no longer your artwork. And I think most people are cool with that because, hey, it's saving me time and I'm not held back by the chains of actually having to draw art myself. I'm just kidding, but I think we can agree that generative AI replaces the execution of the art. But if you're typing in the prompt, then that has to be your idea, right? Well, this is where I just disagree. I don't really think it's your idea. Let's say you wanted to generate a concept of a Pirates of the Caribbean nighttime battle. It's rainy, it's 35mm film, cinematic, anamorphic, whatever. Put in all the keywords you want. Now, before you press enter to let the computer go and generate your artwork for you, think in your mind, what would that look like? What is the idea in your head? What is the concept image that you're thinking of, not the one that's going to be given to you? Because what I found that would happen over and over again is the idea in my head was totally different than what the computer generates. And even if you think it's your idea because you're typing in the words, it turns out that AI is replacing the ideation and it's replacing the execution. And to me, that means it's replacing the entire artistic process. When I'm listening to a song or watching a movie, I want to hear the artist's ideas and I want to hear your ideas. The world wants to hear from you, and the more personal, the better. A movie like Whiplash is about wanting to be the best jazz drummer in the world, and that's personal and it's super specific, but I think that's also what makes a story like that universal, because I think the real artists are after one thing: mastery of the craft, mastery of the art. And you don't get there by AI generating a drum solo to become a better drummer. You get there by putting in the repetitions and by practicing and improving one thing at a time. So if art is when an idea meets execution, then AI is not enabling creativity, it's replacing it. It replaces the idea, it replaces the execution, and it replaces the art. It's not your art just because you typed in a prompt, because you didn't create anything. And if you think you need AI to be creative, then I hate to break it to you, but you're just not creative. It has never been easier to execute ideas with the tools we have today. Cameras have never been cheaper, computers have never been cheaper, paper and pencil has never been cheaper. So in my opinion, if you need AI to make art for you, then you are not the artist. And that's fine. Let's just stop pretending. Let's say you're an author, writing is your vocation, and you use generative AI to write your book. You are not an author. You are not the artist. And that might seem over the top, but let me give you a real example. My girlfriend ordered one of the top meditation books on Amazon. And as soon as we started actually paging through this book, you could tell it was AI generated. The reality is right now, any one of you could AI generate an entire book right now. You could AI generate an entire music soundtrack as well. The question is, should you? Should you make a book on how to meditate written by AI? Should you financially support the people that do? The bottom line is this: if you need AI to make art for you, you are not the artist. And personally, I got into filmmaking because I want to be the artist. I want to be the one building the sets, putting the lights in the perfect position. I want to figure out how to make it with my own two hands or with a group of artists doing it with me. Now, a lot of people like to make the comparison between this new leap in technology as the same thing when 2D animation went into 3D animation. And to be honest, it's not even close. Animation is an art form, and animation is an active verb. You are actively animating either by drawing a character's outline or by posing that character in 3D, frame by frame. In this case, the tools are different, but the art of animation is the same in both mediums. That is totally different than just typing in some words and getting generated images back. Now, I was actually inspired to make this video because I saw someone ask the question, how do I use generative AI to storyboard my film? And I really think that's the wrong question. We need to be asking, should we be using generative AI to storyboard our film? Because if we do, we're outsourcing and replacing our ideation and our execution of the idea. And at that point, why do I care that you made this film? In fact, you didn't. The computer made the film, you just stitched it together. I know for me, I can't think of a more dystopian future than celebrating AI music or going to concerts for AI artists or any ridiculousness like this. But here is why I'm hopeful. In my opinion, generative AI only hurts two different people. You, as the artist, and the audience, because they're not getting your real story, your real art. They're getting a computer's. And when everyone's using generative AI, everyone's work looks the same. And personally, the more digital and artificial the world is becoming, there's still gonna be 50% of people who still want the real thing. I keep seeing it in real life. Live events are hotter than ever. Whether that's UFC and WWE doing record numbers, people want the real thing. So what does this mean for filmmakers and artists? Well, in my opinion, don't outsource the creation of your art to a computer. Otherwise, you're not an artist. Pick up a pen, pick up a camera, open up Unreal, and start making your own film. Movies like Lord of the Rings are made by artists coming up with ideas together in a room. Movies like The Matrix and Spider-Verse are made by real artists putting their ideas into their work. And the true test is to look into your future 10 years from now. Imagine one future where you spend 10 years completely replacing all your art with generative AI. Or you could spend 10 years making that art yourself as an artist. Which would you rather live? Which path would be the more fulfilling life? Should you make art yourself, or should you let a computer replace your creativity with AI? Because that's what's happening. So from this day forward, you have a choice. Do you want to support local artists, musicians, poets and authors, illustrators, or do you want to support corporations and grifters making AI-generated music, books, podcasts, and movies? Just realize that now, in 2025, you'll have to make that choice every single day. And it's a really easy answer. Say no to AI-generated images. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure to subscribe if you want more visual effects and filmmaking tips. I make a ton of breakdowns of how I make my own films and animations in Unreal Engine 5. And if you want to make your own action scenes and films in Unreal 5, check out Unreal Fundamentals. I'll teach you everything you need to know in just 30 minutes a day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.